Yo guys, welcome back to another trade recap, and today we're going to be over the two trades I ended up taking. One was a win, one was a break even. I'll be going over some other setups that were good and some that are bad. We ended up making about $500 on the day. I haven't got my executions on because I can't log into my TradeAvate for some reason. But if you go on my Instagram, you can see the executions. Let me show you a quick picture so you know I'm not capping. Just there. I don't know if you can see them, but that was from my Instagram, which is here. Okay, so there you go. Right, let's go over it. So, two trades coming into the day. What was I doing? I was really bullish. Coming into the day. I thought, like, yesterday's close wasn't great. We inversed this gap, but these draws just look so clean. So, yeah, I was really bullish. I mean, if we look at pre-market, we ripped up. CPI came out here. We just ripped, right? So I was extremely bullish on the day. Looking at the 4 hour, you know, we are just trending up. We've created this 4 hour, you know, CISD. What the holy fuck? Yeah, we created this 4 hour CISD. We have this 4 hour gap just down here. So, you know, there's a lot to say that we're bullish. We're displacing. This was an area that I thought we could potentially get a reversal from, but we'll go over that in a second. Hourly, again, just closing above these highs. We're ripping higher. I'm bullish. All right, now where am I bullish to? This high is my main high. These two, I mean, these daily highs need to get taken at some point, but fucking, I don't know. So yeah, bullish to all of these. Now, coming into looking at ES was pretty similar. We were slightly lower in the range, but again, we have so many draws. So I was just remaining bullish until proven wrong, right? Now, how did market open? Market open was, it was a little bit tricky, right? So if we play it forwards, here we go. We sweep this fucking, that is market open. We sweep this high coming into pre-market. And so now I'm a bit confused. I'm like, we could look now to rebalance this range, right? However much we rebalance the range, I don't know, maybe up to 50%, which would be down here. But we're gonna rebalance. Well, we're not gonna, but I think we're gonna, right? I think we're probably gonna rebalance this range now, because there was no displacement in this gap, in this range. There's none. There was this potentially 15-minute gap here, but we ended up closing straight through that bitch. But yeah, there was this 15-minute bullish fair value gap. That I was looking at, like, potentially seeing a setup from. I mean, ES looked a little bit better. If we look at ES, I think there was a 30-minute. Yeah, there was this 30-minute gap, so potentially, and then we had this rejection block. So I was kind of leaning more into that, maybe. But you got to think, right? What is this fair value gap above? All right, it is above a data low. So just from my experience, these data lows probably going to get taken more often than not. But again, because of how bullish we are, I was open to long in from here. Invalid symbol. Well, it's not, because it's right. Bro, what have I just clicked onto? Holy fuck. Yeah, so that was what I was, like, mainly looking at to do, just maybe long from here, but I don't know. So market open. What are we doing? We have this 15-minute gap over here. We re-sweep the high over here, and we get this big push down. Now, I didn't short off any of this. I think that was the 30-second. I don't know, but I didn't short off any of this. And then we get this. Now, at this point, where are we? We're inside this 15-minute. But what are we doing? We inverse this 5-minute gap. And this 15-minute fair value gap is okay. But what are you above? You're above all of this LR. So I was waiting for this to get swept. Now, again, what is forming, or what was forming at the time, was a hourly fair value gap, but more importantly, this hourly rejection block. I think the reason I didn't want to long off the 15-minute was simply because of how premium we were. And if I look at this candle here, it is a clear rejection. It's turning out to be a clear rejection. We set this high, we're looking to rebalance. Where can we rebalance to? Potentially 50% or this rejection block. So I ended up taking a short, and this was the first trade I took. I waited for the 3-minute to form, which was here, and then I simply took a 3-minute continuation towards the sell side, which was right here. I think ES at the time was in the gap, but if I'm looking at ES, what have we done? We've taken out this low, we've closed below it So this rejection block here, I don't see us doing. This 30-minute gap, I don't see us doing. Where is the next main draw? These data lows. And so I was very bearish towards these data lows, or until MNQ came into a better POI. So I was still bearish to here. I was simply looking for a very, very quick tap and go move. And so that's what I went for, right? We swept this 1 minute internal high into this gap, which was here. Okay, and then we create one more candle, I think. Yeah, and then we get this 1 minute inversion right here. Okay, so after we got this 1 minute inversion, boom, I entered the trade. I entered slightly above on this. I have this thing where like I won't enter straight on the close when it's that close to there, because that's my break-even point. So I waited for a slight pullback to where this body is. I don't even know, this isn't even a confluence. I just do it for some reason and it helps. And my stop was, I think it was here, and my TP was literally just beyond there, ever so slightly. What was it? I think I had my stops. I didn't have it here because I thought we might. It was around here, right? I think it was about 35 that I rounded to. Yeah, my TP was a 1-to-1 just there. I didn't risk much on this trade. If I'm being honest, I didn't, because again, even though ES was really bearish, we were quite discounted in a sense of this swing. Yes, we hadn't come into the CE of this zone, but also there's another imbalance here. So there was potential for us to go higher on ES, and therefore MNQ would, but MNQ did come into CE of the zone, which is here. We tapped it perfectly. We get a rejection from it. I'm gonna take this trade. So I get tapped in there, and we go to TP. Right, I literally got tapped in on that wick. Now, I got really lucky, I'm not going to lie. I got really lucky. I went break even once we took the sell side out. And as soon as I went break even, it goes up, taps it, and then comes back down. For some reason, I didn't get tapped, and I think I know why. When I brought my stops to break even, I did it live, so I'll put a clip up on my Instagram at some point. But when I brought my stops to break even, I forgot to click confirm. So I got really lucky with this trade, and it ripped to a 1-to-1. I made about $500 on that trade just there. And yeah, now the better position, so that was my trade. The better position would be waiting for this. Now, I saw people take this long. There's reasons why I don't think this long is valid, is because if we look at the hourly, what are we forming? We're forming an hourly fair value gap just here. I don't know if you can see that. We're forming this hourly fair value gap. The time at this time, it's getting close to the 10 a.m. open. So if I'm thinking of how a 10 a.m. candle can open, we can definitely get an open, low, high, close. Okay, but also we are simply right above this rejection block. Okay, it seems like a manipulation low. This is a low resistance low. It's not protected. And then it's not in a key level, right? And then I'm also looking at ES at the time, and we're getting, what the fuck, that ain't ES. We're getting so close to these data lows, like it leans more bearish to me. All right, so looking at MNQ. Okay, can we go on MNQ? What do we have? We have a 5 minute. Now this 5 minute, I'll also explain why I think this 5 minute didn't hold. And it did get inverse, is because it's a breakaway gap. Meaning, if we look at the 3 minute already retraced to here. So technically, this 5 minute gap doesn't need to be traded into. So people took longs down here, fine, whatever, and then you get this 5 minute inversion. Now, this is a really impulsive candle. You got to ask yourself, where are you reacting out of? Why is this 5 minute inversion not valid? Why is this going to fail? The first reason is, look at ES. Oh my God, look at ES. We're still in the 5 minute. What have we swept? We've swept this kind of fake move. Okay, now, and then look what you get, this move down, but I mean at the time it was about here. This is a much cleaner setup, right, on ES, but also that ain't it, bro. Shit. Also, again, where is this low? Why is this low not protected? It's not in any key level. It is literally hovering above. We inverse this gap here, and that's a 1 minute, so I wouldn't trade that anyway. We're hovering above this rejection block. We have an hourly fair value gap about to be opened here. This is not a good long. This long shouldn't be taken, in my opinion. And then again, you're seeing that 3 minute. I mean, I know, like, the 5 minute is the highest time from inversion, the 3 minutes you're still closing in, and I'd pay attention to that because ES did not flip the 5 minute, right? And this is quite a protected high. Why? It's quite high resistance because you swept liquidity. Okay, you swept that liquidity. You've had this impulsive move down. This is quite a nice high. It's a hard high to target. Also, that you're not targeting anything in here. There's no structure in here, right? The next high you can target is this one. And again, if you're coming off a key level, that might be valid, but there's nothing in here. You're in a void, right? So, and again, look at ES. This is just me going over as long as I'm valid. Again, you're in a void, so you don't long that, right? So these are things you just learn, and I made that mistake the other day trying to long in a void, and yeah. So now this was a really clean setup. People who took this, fair fucking play. This inversion was clean. You go short here. Yeah, from the 3 minute sweep of the 3 minute internal high, 1 minute inversion. Again, targeting this low resistance low, break even at this low here, and then yeah, you go TP, right? And you fucking, yeah, you could have it here. It really depends. Is that? I swear that's not exactly on the rejection block. No, it is. Yeah, I don't know. If you go for a 1-to-1, whatever. If not, then I mean, if you went for a 1-to-1, you would have hit TP. Yeah, I only go for 1-to-1s on at the minute. Anyway, so yeah, that's a good trade. That was a nice trade. People took that. I didn't take it. And then the last trade I took, I risked really low. I risked like $200 on this. Was from this fair value gap. All right. Now, we didn't tap into the hourly rejection block, and this was a shit trade in my opinion. I shouldn't have taken this, but it was there. The setup presented itself. We had nice impulsive moves. We tapped into this 1 alpha value gap. We had a sweep of these lows. The reason this trade is shit is simply because ES is clearly trending towards this data low, but I didn't even look at ES at that time. I wasn't paying too much attention to it. We get this 1 minute inversion right here, and so I entered on this candle here. I entered on a quick pullback, stopped at this low, and I was targeting like a 1-to-1 there, and like I literally get edged. And I went break even at the 5 minute internal high, which was right here. So when we swept that, if we go back on the 1 minute, we swept that, go break even, and the price comes down. And then you get caught up in. I mean, it would have played out the trade like really well. It's like it still would have played out, would have hit TP, but it's not a good trade, and so that break even was fine. And then ES takes the data lows, you get SMT, so then people are still trying to long in this after this SMT. Yes, you get this inversion right here. I see people taking this long. It's not the worst long. Mechanically, it's there, right? You've got everything you need for bullish bias. But what are you like? What are we doing? What are we doing for the session? The session is clearly barcoding. So this trade is going to be very low probability. So you simply don't take these. So yeah, I faded this setup. I just thought after this is shit. This setup, this long here wasn't the best long, but we managed the risk really well. And then this short here was a nice little short towards the sell side, which I knew I could target as, yeah. I see these all the time. Little tap and goes to the low, and then you get out. So it wasn't a bad trade. So yeah, that was it for coming into the morning, coming into the day. Not the best trade from me. Not the best trading day from me. But we ended up making $500 on the day. Not too bad. Yeah, we'll keep these trade recaps up. Check out the Instagram. We're posting some shit on there. Any support, any likes, any comments, I fucking appreciate. I'll reply to all of them. And yeah, keep fucking trading, guys. But just if there's any lessons from today, just when price is fucking moving like this, you just leave. Just don't even try and trade it, because it's horrible price action. It's barcode, and you know it is like, I mean, if we look at today, it's shit. You wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know when New York opened, right? There's some days where you can tell New York has fucking opened, like right here. We hammer down. We come into it. We continue off, right? Even here, we can tell when New York opened. But I mean, that's data thingy. But then you get New York open over here. You can tell. Here, I would argue, you couldn't fucking tell. It is the worst price action ever. So, just don't trade these days. These are days not to trade. I mean, I would argue this trade, you wouldn't know if we're going to chop all day. It's not a bad trade. This trade, you wouldn't know if you're going to chop all day. Not a bad trade. This trade, you're pushing it a little bit. It's not the worst, not the best. But this long over here, we've chopped all day. Get out. Don't take it. All right, cool. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.